We making moves. We making major moves. We making moves. We making major moves. We going all in. Like we got nothing to lose. We making moves. We making major moves.
What is up, everybody? I'm Mr. Man. Welcome back to my channel. We have been piecing together the connectivity from central banks to faster payments to crypto protocols being used in between all of that, and how the seamless flow is moving to create this unified ledger, or the finternet, as Augustine Karsten would put it. And that's what we are talking about today. I'm still putting the pieces together, and we've added some more. This is the overview of the faster payment systems in the globe right now. There are still more that I have not found out yet, but there are still more. This is a collaboration, 90% Chad Steingraber, and I would say 10% myself with what I've added to this as well. But that's neither here nor there. I just want to take some attention here on my Patreon here. I want to get this out so you guys know. Within my Patreon here, I do my best to put out information here, private information to the group. It's $10 a month, and I provide a wealth of information here. If you're looking to learn how to maximize and capitalize on your crypto profits and gains, once that comes about, you will want a place to store it and secure your wealth, because if not, you'll be riding the crypto wave up and down. And I teach you how to purchase real estate, what to look for, what the trends are of real estate. I teach you about cryptocurrency. I teach you about finances. I teach you about the regulations in the back end of things too. And depending on which tier that you purchase, you can definitely get access to me, and we can chat one-to-one, and I can teach you personally as a mentor on how to go about real estate, how to capitalize on this wealth transfer. So this is what's changed though. If you remember in the last model, we didn't have Polkadot and XLR there. XLR acts as a messaging system or a messaging service, which big companies such as JP Morgan, BNY Mellon are capitalizing on. And looking at it from a protocol level, that messaging going from the hub or the faster payment system down to the zone, which would be the central banks, has to go through a seamless system there. And you can see it goes through the Corium, which would be the Atom or the Cosmos blockchain there, integration with Solo. Solo is the interface for Corium, and right down to the hub. And then down here, what we are talking about today now is Polkadot. And how does Polkadot integrate with this unified ledger? Let's continue. Oh, let me just give you an overview, sorry. Just an overview. So here, if you notice, we're looking at from the zone area first, and we're working our way up the bridge here and across to the hub. And that's what we're looking at quickly. Starting with Finastra, we're moving over to the Cosmos ecosystem and what's in the ecosystem and the bridges that they offer. There's the XLR right there. You can do staking and DeFi within there. There's the Corium bridge. Through the Corium bridge, from there, you then enter the Solo DEX, which is the interface for Corium. We have been through this before, guys. And then once you get into the Solo DEX, you're on your way back out now. Two-way messaging service. Read, write, send, receive. All right. CBDC, ISO 20022 compliant. We're now on the Interledger portion there, and the connectivity with Interledger and Corium. And these things all integrate together, right? I'm not just making the pieces up myself here. Now we're on the faster payment, which is the hub. 24/7 interoperability, 365, end-to-end connectivity. There's the overview of how it looks. We went from here up to here, all the way across to the interface here, right across to the endpoint. Over here in the zones where the central bankers are, that's where Polkadot plays. And in Polkadot, what we're talking about is digital identities. And in that, there's this company called Metam, a blockchain, and they consider themselves the ultimate solution for CBDCs. Let's take a listen to what they're talking about here.
Hi, everyone. I'm Giovanni. Welcome to another Cointelegraph AMA show. Today, I have the pleasure to be joined by Phantom Seoku Yoon, founder and CEO of Sovereign Wallet, and Cesar Bashir Brahim, CSO of Sovereign Wallet. Today, we're going to talk about the Metam identity-based blockchain developed by Sovereign Wallet Network, SWN Global, and the University of Southern California. How are you doing, guys, today?
Good.
Nice.
Thank you very much for hosting, Amy. It's wonderful to be here.
Thank you so much. Great to be here.
A pleasure, a pleasure. So before we start with the questions, I would like to address our audience. So this is an interactive show, guys. So don't hesitate to ask the questions that come to your mind about this very interesting project. Write them down in the chat, and I will ask them directly to our guests. So yeah, and also don't forget to like and subscribe the video. Okay, let's get started with your project, guys. So you claim to have redesigned blockchain technology, creating the first fourth generation blockchain. So what's so innovative about this Metam blockchain? Phantom, you want to start?
Thank you. Metam provide the answers to two dilemmas in the blockchain design and CBDC design. Blockchain design trilemma is popularized by the Vitalik Buterin of Ethereum Foundation, saying that decentralization, scalability, and security cannot be achieved at the same time. To solve this trilemma, we need to understand the very fundamental nature of the blockchain itself. Many believe that blockchain is decentralized, but actually it is not. Of course, everybody knows that blockchain is structurally decentralized, but if you look at the different angle, from an operational point of view, it is very centralized and serialized. In the blockchain, every node is one single virtual node, and it can only process the transaction one by one. This means if someone is buying a coffee in one store, other people in another store have to wait for this transaction to be finished. And then they can buy coffee in order. This is the fundamental design problem of blockchain. Metam is the first blockchain to come up with an architecture that can process a transaction in parallel and independently. This means if we add more and more nodes to process the transaction, we can achieve almost unlimited scalability. Along this line of thinking, Metam achieved a true peer-to-peer digital cash mechanism. Blockchain didn't eliminate the middleman. On the contrary, it introduced multiple middlemen, and it requires the consensus to transfer the cash. By achieving direct peer-to-peer payment without requiring the consensus or reference to the database in the central server, Metam can achieve the fastest transfer of funds among all other payment solutions, achieving more than 1 million transactions per second.
That's fantastic. So Metam is digital, allows for digital ID, connects with CBDCs because you can't have CBDC without your digital ID. Metam, about us here. Here's the team. They are 30 dedicated people, 20-year experience between them all at that point. 18 patents acquired. Is that 18? 18 patents acquired. After more than 20 years of experience in software security solutions for governments, military, and financial institutions, our team invested in blockchain tech since its inception. Sovereign Wallet is a leading technology innovator in self-sovereign identity, self-sovereign wallet, and self-sovereign finance. Our innovative products and services include Metam Wallet, Metablock Digital Exchange, and Metam Blockchain. Mainnet started in January 3rd. On January 3rd, 2021, Metam Wallet and Metam Blockchain will bring the popularization of central bank digital currency, digital stock exchange, and internet-based cross-border payments. So, when we are looking at this in the grand scheme of things again, where are we? We are down here at the central bank side of things, the digital ID. So we are looking at the non-sterile or the non-sterile side of things. When I say non-sterile side of things, picture it like the airport. You have your boarding pass, but when you're going through the line and you're going through security, before you reach security, you are on the non-sterile side. After you've gone through security, put your hands up, had that machine circle around you, invade you with all those x-rays and whatnot, and you pass that now, and you get onto that next side of things through security, that is the sterile side of things. What I had shown you in this image from here forward is the sterile side of things. When we get down this side here, back from the central bank to the commercial bank, that's working our way back to the non-sterile side of things. So let's continue. Metamui, identity-based meta blockchain for metamorphic digital currencies and tokenized security. This is what's important. There's been a lot of effort to overcome a popular problem of trilemma in the blockchain, saying that decentralization, security, and scalability cannot be achieved at the same time. This leads to the third generation of blockchain technologies such as Algorand, Avalanche, Hedera, Hashgraph, etc. However, we're still left with some of the problems that are unsolved. How to verify the user's identity during the transaction to avoid money laundering. How to solve the impossibility trilemma in economics, saying free capital flow, fixed exchange rate, and sovereign monetary policy cannot be achieved at the same time. What about data scalability? With all data is mixed together as a hashed chain, it is not possible to store the terabytes of data on a mobile device, and it's not possible to realize the vision of Nick Szabo's personal and secured device with smart contract execution. Just so you're all aware of what I'm actually reading here, this is it here. This is the Metamui white paper. Identity-based meta blockchain for metamorphic digital currencies and tokenized securities. So now that we are all caught up with that, I wanted to give you an overview of what that was about. That's why I began to read the white paper. But now let's look into this here, a little dive into Metamui, an identity-based blockchain to enable self-sovereign finance and sustainable economic model. Keep in mind, anytime that money flows across those bridges, when I say bridges, these bridges here, starting off from Finastra, R3, and we are in Polkadot and moving on the value chain here, you are entering DeFi. These banks are not utilizing bridges and just paying tolls. They are making money there. This is a new version of Nostro Vostro. It's not parked capital doing nothing. This is now accruing interest or yield farming or being a liquidity provider, which is what myself, Cypress, and Aquaman are doing in the Wealth 28 Club. And I look forward to seeing you there because we are doing what these central banks and faster payment systems are doing. We are becoming our own banks, and we're here to teach you guys how to do that. And I'm putting the pieces together to show you how they are doing that, with what companies and protocols they are doing that with. So back down to here. What I want to see is on page, here, look at this right here, look at this. Metamui parachain structure for unified ledger. That's what we're talking about. Page 8, okay? This is going to blow your minds here, guys. Blow it. Just blow it. Metamui is focused on implementing the concept of a unified ledger by utilizing an identity-based blockchain as a relay chain. This identity blockchain serves as the link connecting without various specialized blockchains, forming what is known as a parachain network in parallel. What the heck is a parachain, you ask? Let's dive into this unified ledger world we're talking about here, and what is a parachain?
What is Polkadot? How do you make a network that can process a lot of transactions quickly and cheaply while remaining secure and decentralized? Most new blockchains try to solve this trilemma, but only a few offer a fresh perspective. One such project is a blockchain of blockchains, Polkadot. Polkadot was founded by Gavin Wood, former Ethereum CTO and creator of the Solidity programming language, who decided to solve problems faced with Ethereum in Polkadot, the world's first Layer 0 blockchain that can connect Layer 1 blockchains to itself. At the core of Polkadot beats its heart, Relay Chain. The Relay Chain is a nominated proof-of-stake blockchain with validators who stake Polkadot's native DOT tokens, produce new blocks, and secure the network by staking their DOT tokens. Also, there are nominators who, in exchange for some validators' rewards, stake their DOT to support one or more of them. However, the Relay Chain is very limited in its functionality. Its tasks are bounded by making the nominated proof-of-stake consensus work, supporting the Polkadot decentralized governance mechanism, and validating parachains, which will be explained next. The Relay Chain, for example, does not support smart contracts, hence the name Layer 0. It is just the basis for everything else Polkadot is willing to offer. Smart contracts, dApps, possibility to create and transfer assets. Polkadot delivers all this through parallelized chains or parachains that are connected to the Relay Chain. These Layer 1 blockchains produce blocks, a batch of state transitions that progress to a new state, but they do not have their own validators to verify those blocks for correctness. Instead, nodes of parachains, called collators, execute transactions and collect the states of the blocks to submit them to the Relay Chain validators. Validators check the validity of the parachain blocks and may reject them in case they see fraud. Thus, the Relay Chain collects states from parachains and makes them into what is called a state of states, the overall status of the system. If you're familiar with the concept of sharding, you can safely say that parachains are the Polkadot's shards, as one set of validators is responsible for a specific parachain. This workload sharing approach is called horizontal scaling, and it is designed to relieve validators from having to verify all transactions on the blockchain. Like almost any network, parachains have their own tokens, their economy, their community, and system of government. Even though each parachain is autonomous, it can communicate with other parachains, and altogether they form one big network. Parachains communicate by sending each other not only tokens but also data, which means that one parachain can easily use some of the functions of another, and vice versa. Parachains can also have layers 2 built on top of them. Polkadot's parachains can also function as bridges, connecting the ecosystem to external blockchains like Ethereum or Bitcoin. The system takes external networks connected by bridges as parachains. In total, Polkadot offers more than 100 parachains, which can be added by participating in a dedicated parachain slot auction that gives them the right to lease a parachain slot for up to 2 years. To lease a parachain 1 is also required to lock a certain amount of DOT for the whole period of the parachain lease. However, leasing parachain is not the only option to become part of the Polkadot ecosystem, as there are also parathreads. Technically, they are the same as parachains, but differ from the latter by the economic model. Parathreads use a pay-as-you-go model and pay for each block to be validated by the Relay Chain. That is, during times of high network congestion, parathreads can become quite expensive to use, and during times of low activity, the fees on them are low. The Polkadot network can hold up to 10,000 parathreads. This is how Polkadot solved the scalability problem that Ethereum is still struggling with. To further ensure their security, Polkadot has resorted to an even more unusual solution, a standalone blockchain called Kusama. Kusama and Polkadot share the same architecture, but Kusama has lower slashing penalties for validators, a lower entry barrier for parachains, along with the latest technology implemented there first, making it a perfect place to test out protocols and conduct bold experiments. For example, many Polkadot parachains have their counterparts on Kusama, and applications that want to run on Polkadot must first run for a while on Kusama to test their viability and security. It should be noted, however, that Kusama is an independent blockchain and not a testnet. It uses real stakes with native KSM tokens to secure it and is expected to grow and follow its own development path over time. The team that created Polkadot also came up with a blockchain building framework called Substrate. In other words, Substrate is a development kit for building blockchains. It is considered one of the simplest and most advanced. The Polkadot network itself was built by using Substrate, but building parachains using Substrate is not at all a prerequisite. And vice versa. Blockchains with Substrate can exist on their own without connecting to Polkadot or Kusama.
So, Is that clear as mud? We all have a keen understanding of what a parachain is now, and we know that parachains are being utilized within this unified ledger, and we know that parachains are also known as the blockchain of blockchain. What else? What else does that remind us of here? What else? It reminds me of this here. Let me just go back here, right back to the beginning. Right here. Notice, if you will, in the hub and in the zone, you have Cosmos and then you have Dot. Let me show you how they work together now, because you have the network of network, or the blockchain of blockchains, and the network of network, Cosmos and Polkadot. So here we go. Blockchain unite. Cosmos and Polkadot interoperability. Remember, we're talking about the unified ledger, which is also allowing the singleness of money, or the continuity of money. When I say continuity, I mean it continues from blockchain to blockchain to blockchain to bridge to bridge to blockchain to contract secured to that contract being allowed within that decentralized ID now. Then when it crosses from the non-sterile side to the sterile side, how does that look? Blockchain unite, atom and dot interoperability. Navigating the new frontier of cross-chain interoperability, weaving an interconnected blockchain fabric, understanding Cosmos, a vision of the Internet of Blockchains, the Cosmos Hub Nexus for cross-chain transactions, Polkadot, bridging blockchains for a multi-chain future, parachain and relay chain, with the XCMP, what is that? Polkadot achieves cross-chain communication through the cross-chain message passing protocol. Comparative analysis there. I do want to show you guys this here. I was having a conversation with my favorite bot here. So my question was, so Polkadot can interoperate with Cosmos ecosystem. So would it be safe to assume that Polkadot may allow the continuity of XRP, singleness of money, which could allow the singleness of money to connect to an individual's ID? Yes, it's feasible to assume that Polkadot's interoperability capabilities could facilitate the integration of XRP into a broader ecosystem, potentially linking it to individual IDs. So Polkadot and Cosmos are both designed to enable cross-chain interoperability, albeit through different mechanisms. Polkadot uses a sharded model with parachains connected via the relay chain, and Cosmos employs the IBC protocol to connect independent blockchains or zones through the Cosmos Hub. So here's how the XRP integration could look. XRP, the native currency of Ripple network, XRPL, could be integrated into this interoperable ecosystem through several steps. We already know Cosmos allows for the continuity of XRP. Corium Bridge in the Cosmos ecosystem allows for the connectivity into Cosmos through the XRPL chain ledger. So bridge parachains. Polkadot can use bridge parachains to connect with external blockchains, including those in the Cosmos ecosystem. This would allow XRP to be transferred from different blockchains within the Polkadot and Cosmos networks. IBC, Cosmos's IBC protocol, can facilitate the transfer of assets and data between different blockchains. If XRP is integrated into a Cosmos zone, what is a zone? Down here is the zones, right? The central bank section in the zones, and potentially with Polkadot parachains through existing or future bridges. So now linking to a digital ID, as we're talking about here, we were talking about Metam and how they're using parachains. So now we're linking that to the digital ID. So Polkadot's infrastructure supports DID, decentralized ID solutions, which is a self-sovereign identity, which can be used to link digital assets to verified entities. And here's how that could work. So the decentralized identity, Polkadot's ecosystem includes tools for decentralized identity management, which could be used to create and verify identity credentials. These credentials can be linked to digital assets, including XRP, ensuring that ownership and transactions are tied to verified identities. So last segment, we were talking about the UCC. UCC allows things such as NFTs to be real, or to hold a legit contract or ownership of something now, because you can have the NFT on your phone there. Yeah, you paid for it. I could take a screenshot of it. Doesn't mean that it's still not yours. There's no legality or law or force of law behind your NFT to state that it's your NFT. Yeah, the blockchain says it's your NFT, but ultimately there's no law. You can't take me to court and do anything about that at all. Not a thing. So with the UCC 2022 amendment, that now allows for NFTs to have credential or law behind them. And that's what we're talking about here as well within this. So blockchains can serve as trust registries, providing a decentralized, transparent, and immutable source of truth and identity verification. The sources, or this ensures that identity data is reliable and can be audited easily. And here's how the implementation could look. So users can create decentralized identities on Polkadot, which are then verified and linked to their digital assets, including XRP. Cross-chain transactions using Polkadot's Bridge, Parachange, and Cosmos IBC, users can transfer XRP across different blockchains while maintaining the link to their verified ID. That's now linked to your ID. You have proof of ownership. Right now, there's no legality behind it. Yeah, I have Cosmos, Dot, XRP. They're all sitting, doing their thing on the blockchain. I have no provable, recognizable, legal stance behind my posture to state that, yeah, these are mine. That's why when these collapses happen with different technologies and different companies, different blockchains, different coins, different companies, this is all going through a huge court thing now to discuss how this is going to look, how it's going to happen, because nobody owns these things yet. You don't own it yet. You don't own it. That's why you secure it on your digital offline wallet, your offline hardware wallet, because you don't want anything to happen to your stuff. So the combined capabilities of Polkadot and Cosmos ensure that assets and data can move seamlessly across the ecosystem, supporting a unified financial system where digital assets are tied to individual identities. Now you have provable, verifiable credential behind your identity with who you are and the fact that you, Mr. Man, owns what I claim to own. The hash can verify and prove it because I received it or sent it, whatever. But now in terms of the force of law, law is never leaving. Law is never leaving. This is what makes it provable and recognized in this societal construct that we live in. That's how that works. So let me get back to this now. So the network agent is utilized by organizations processing a public ID, which contains associated identity information and commonly serves as a communication address. On the other hand, individual users access the platform through the mobile agent, which hosts wallet dedicated to users. Notably, Metamui's unique advancement lies in its incorporation of both the blockchain core and the respective user's wallet within its framework. So that's how that looks. There's the parachains. That's how it's being utilized. The parachain, Metamui, SSID. That's what it's showing you. A unified ledger with unified wallet added on that ledger. I'm showing you the different steps of how that looks. If you're having a hard time following along, there is how it looks in a blockchain world. And to move all this stuff, to make it look real, all this stuff happens through these entities here, these faster payment system, which connects to the central bank. These two entities here are the sterile side of the system there. When it finally reaches the commercial banks, which you and I capitalize at that point, it's still sterile, but the commercial banks are the ones who do the KYC, the know your customers. FPSs, faster payment system, or IPSs, whatever you want to call them, instant payment system, central banks, they're not doing KYC of you and I of the world. They're doing KYC or whitelisting of other central banks to know who they're trusted, or create their trust line, if you will, as you do when you connect to another protocol with your wallet. They create a trust line, a trust ecosystem, a whitelist. They connect a faster payment system as well. Anybody that's not in their ecosystem cannot capitalize on their ecosystem. I intend to capitalize on this ecosystem because I am in this ecosystem. They are talking about utilizing staking within Polkadot, Parachains, I intend to do that on Cosmos. There is DeFi. There is staking. Let me take you guys through this quickly again. All right. Just quickly, I just need to show you guys this here. Cosmos, right? The Cosmos ecosystem. They offer staking. Every hop down the line you go through, you are spending money for that bridge. So if you can capitalize on that money there being spent, you're not spending money. Corium DeFi, make money while you're spending money. Make money in your sleep. Myself, Cypress, Aquaman, the three of us are here to help you guys in the Wealth 28 Club to capitalize on what these central banks and faster payment systems are doing. I've shown you guys how they all connect. I've shown you the bridges that they're using. I've shown you guys this. Smart tokens there. And how it goes into the Corium ecosystem, the Sologenic ecosystem, and how it's being utilized as the interface. And they have their own DEX. And I've shown you how Corium comes out the back end as well. It's not just a one-way system there, and out to the CBDCs, from the CBDCs to the faster payment system, or faster payment back to the central bank, because their ISO compliant. I'm showing you guys the game here. Tap into this stuff. Learn what we're discussing. Learn what we're talking about here. Learn and recognize that we want to help you do what these central banks do. The slogan is, be your own banker. And if you don't know how to be your own banker, welcome to the club. I'd love to have you guys there. I do hope that you've learned something from this lesson. I will see you guys on the next one. Nothing but love. Peace.
We making moves. We making major moves. We making moves.